Welcome to Isis in the Bible Spring Gathering, week number 1, Ides of Ma-rch. They use the ma-rch intensely. So what do you see in there? Ma's arch, the firmament. The question for today is, what can you tell us about the Ides of March? For many people, the Ides of March is remembered as an idolatry political story from history. Yet in the ancient world, the rhythm of the sky carried deeper meaning. The movements of the sun, moon, and stars were seen as markers of cycles, guidance, and renewal. Each year, the sky performs a different dance, and when we take the time to observe it, we begin seeing patterns that our ancestors, which is us, measured carefully. This gathering invites us to pause and look upward again. Rather than repeating the inherited ideas about dates and events, we explore the sky itself, measuring the relationship between the lunar cycle, the turning of the seasons, phoenix risings, changes of the ages, and the symbols that have echoed throughout ancient traditions. Together we reflect on the question, what is in the sky during this moment of the year? Glad you can join us today. Okay, so before we get into the Ides of March, which we're approaching, I want to call upon Rosemary to tell us what happened with her today and how beautifully it aligns with this event in the charts, which is amazing when put up against her natal chart. Rosemary?
So I had acquired a paper of being a living free woman and felt that freedom very much today. So this was my rebirth in a way. And upon leaving that building, I actually snapped a picture of the monument that was just outside of the building where those records were at. And what you see here, I do see Liberty is in there. There's a Liberty building with 2 statues of Liberty facing opposite ways on the top of the building. You won't see the other one. And an obelisk pointing up with 4 lions that are laying down at it. And it's right outside, and the sun actually came out and shined on me when I came out, and I felt just huge lift off. That's all I can say on that one, but that's what I felt for today. Freedom.
Right, so her registration of live birth is the proof that the government created an instrument to take care of you your whole life based on them borrowing money on your future labor. So this is totally mirroring the Jubilee that's in the sky. All of a sudden, everybody's going to get infinite credit, and everybody doesn't work for anybody anymore. We just work for ourselves. So that mirror is there. So she took this picture exactly at 11:32, and that freedom she felt was what we're talking about with Icarus. This goes by the minute, okay? The MC moves by the minute. So Icarus is her wings. She felt her freedom to fly. So this isn't mumbo jumbo. This is actual energies, and she felt that at the exact moment when she snapped that picture, thinking, boy, I feel free. You'll feel these things as you clear your waters, is what she did, right? So
was Rose saying there's another building of freedom behind her, in opposite of that one?
There's a building you see in the picture on the other side of this circle where the obelisk was at. That has 2 Statue of Liberties on the top of it. It's called the Liberty Building, which we know the Statue of Liberty is also Mary or Isis, and there's 2 of them.
Yeah. Because if you have the 2 women, they both have a circle that form the Vesica Pisces, and it's the needle. This is the needle that comes through the Vesica Pisces, which looks like a vagina, but also an eye. So it is the eye of the needle that comes through the opening of the mother.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's so beautiful. So now, were you saying that to the back of you is the other one, Rosemary, or to the other side of this building?
The other side of that building. There's two of them on the top of the building, and they're facing opposite directions. Actually, I'm not sure if there is another monument behind me, but I do know the water's behind me. That is Lake Erie is behind them. The harbor is behind the building. So,
right. So this is the Icarus that I'm talking about. That is connected to Jay Leno's and Elon Musk's Mary. So when you get your wings, everything you imagine, you get to have. But be careful. And that's the story of Icarus flying too close to the sun, burning his wings and coming crashing down. In other words, if we go too materialistic, you lose your wings. Rosemary, felt her wings today. She is totally aligned with everything that's happening in her life right now, all divinely so. And look what she got to experience. That whole feeling was there. It's absolutely impeccable. So I won't go over this because we did it last week, but we did the last few gatherings, but this is all related to the new spring of the season. So in other words, what's happening in the sky around the spring equinox, the Ides of March, is what's important, because that's the flavor for what we should be thinking about and working on, because that's what the energies are in the sky. So it's all related to this spring of the new season, the Phoenix rising, and the change of ages into Aquarius. So really quickly, March 20th, Black Moon in Antares. That's a gateway. Antares is the gateway. It's the gateway where it's Scorpio, where it's absolutely abstinence, material abstinence from many different ways. March 29th, the Ides of March strengthens with Vesta kicking off the Anna Perenna, and that's what Rosemary brought up, because the Anna Perenna is where everything's on one side of the chart, and there's only two, and of course, that's God and Mary Magdalene, or Osiris and Nephthys are controlling the chart. So that's your energy to control your world when you come into it. Again, April 2nd, Santa Claus or Lilith, temptations versus gifts, aligns with Mary. That's a very important date. And of course, April 15th is the Easter, where the sun rises in the east with Mary, aka Eris. May 2nd, Uranus, Alcyone, the ear and connection to hold up other people's worlds. And June 2nd, natural law takes a front stage over man's karmic loop laws. Because don't forget, all the laws that are out there that the policemen enforce upon you is just keeping everybody in a karmic loop. And we got to stop pushing those man-made laws, right? Perfect. So, okay, the Ides of March. The word Ides come from the Etruscan word iduare, and is to divide or to split. It marks a moment when the cycle of the heavens reaches a midpoint. Because everybody's saying midpoint of March, but it's the midpoint of where the sun splits the field. So it's quietly measuring the seasons of our life from the micro to the macro. This is where the weighing of the heart comes in, because the sun, the new moon, is rising in the horizon at 0 degree Aries, or whatever you want to call it. So that's what's important about the Ides. What's happening when we're shifting from the winter to the summer? From the outside material world coming back towards the inside, right? We're coming back towards the point in the middle, love. So here's what we have to look at for this year. We have to look specifically how this spring ties this year's Ides of March, which is one and the same symbolically. The spring and Ides of March are the same. We call it spring, but we should be referencing the Ides of March, the dance in the heavens that's happening at that time. So Mercury did the dance across the North Node. And what's the North Node? North Node is one of the black holes, that which eclipses the sun and the moon. Memories of the waters 3 times are going across the black hole, shedding your waters, your memories. They're going to come to you for cleansings. Seen so many people go through this yesterday in deep, deep thought, right? And so the first one was February 12th. Yesterday, and then the third on March the 23rd, which aligns with so many 23rds everywhere. And Rosemary said when she bought a house on March 23rd, and 6 years later, which we'll talk about, 6 years later, she sold on March 23rd. So we're always guiding each other with all the acts that we're doing. So this third time is stirring the waters of memory and renewal. The heavens repeat their patterns, inviting us to observe the cosmic dance unfolding above the horizon. If you want a personal weather forecast, you have to look to the heavens. So again, this is about some guy on March 23rd, got stabbed 23 times. This is all baloney, okay? It's like idolizing one man at any time. Even today, we're idolizing one man in different countries. It says in the Bible, don't idolize anyone. No one. And what are we doing? We're watching TV all day long with an idol. So it's all about this, right? The black hole, we're being pulled back in to that vortex. That's what this means. That's what these mean. So those memories in the waters are getting sucked into this vacuum black hole kind of thing, but which is that black hole is in every atom in your body. That's why people will feel these energies, because they want to be cleared. It's just a resistance love is trying to get through. It's trying to shine out, but it can't. But unless you clear your waters like we are doing, and then it feels incredible. So on March 21st, 2023, right before the Phoenix Rising of April 15th, right? The Revelation 12:1, remember, alignment means to align the mind. So the Ides of March, again, is to split the mind from what is real and what is noise. And every now moment is what is real. So the new moon right before the Phoenix Rising on April 15th, 2023, Eris at 0 degrees. Okay. See, this is where it's at the split, right? Between north and south. The sun was there and on this new moon. So this is the closest it got to the 0 degree Aries. This one here, the Ides of March, what's happening in the sky. So this is beautiful. And not only that, look who was on by the black hole, the other Mary. So when we look at the dance in the sky, we can see that both Marys are at play, which is both your essences of the Earthen Mother and the Virgin Mother. Both. We got to play all these essences. This is what we are. So because this happened, right, the new moon right before the Phoenix Rising on April 15th, and when we're looking at these, we know what's coming. We know the essences, and this is a beautiful time when we're just going to know that, hey, love is being imbued in every atom in our body, which is beautiful. So when you look at the spring equinoxes, I know there's a lot of detail here, but it's just for people who do want to do the astrology. So March 22nd, 2023, like I just showed you, okay, it was at 0 north. And then you can see 2024, 3 south, then 3 north, and now it's back to 0. And in 27 will be back 6. So 2026 is really important because that new moon is really close to the March, spring, the equinox, the split, the true Ides of March. The closer it is, the more we feel the effects that's happening in the sky. So again, 2023 was near the Phoenix Rising of April 15th, 2023, the 6 degree orb from spring 2020 to spring 2026. And that's the exact same thing as what Rosemary told us for the 6 years between the 2 March 23rds. You can see that now you know you don't have to count how many apples you have, but you have to take time to measure what's happening in the sky. We have an abundance of apples, no need to count them. But if you want to know your metaphysical growing season, then be a ruler and measure the sky. We go look at the weather on the weather forecast on the news, but this is the ultimate weather. Now, not everybody wants to study to be a weatherman, I get it, but it's important that we listen, and so many more people around the world are listening. They're listening to what's happening in that astral romance, that dance in the sky. It's absolutely beautiful. So this is just all the more proof that we are upon what we're upon. So whether you understand it or not, the whole point is it's here. It's here, it's clear. The Egyptian walls talk about it, the ancient Indian calendars show it, it's all there. So when you go look to see when the crossings of the mother with the sun at the cusps, you can see 44 BC, the mother and the sun moved into 0 degree Gemini. So of course there's going to be a time of absolute cleansing, love, and shit's going to happen like it's happening now. That's why the historians wrote about it. They're telling you about the astrological event, the Ides of March, the splitting in the sky. This is an actual split right on the cusp of a zodiac sign where Mary meets with the sun. Okay, these are all dates exactly when Eris met with the sun at that 0 degree of the cusp of that zodiac. So we got to learn to be the rulers. We got to learn about our wings. The common story comes mainly from later Roman historians, not from witnesses of the event, that one of Julius Caesar dying. Ancient writers themselves disagree on the details, and the story later became a dramatic symbolism about power, betrayal, and the fall of the ruler, and CC was right. You see it a lot in Shakespeare's play. But if you understand, Shakespeare wasn't really anybody, it was a writer, and there's some consensus on who that writer might be. But he's talking about the story in the sky is what he's doing. And then people take it literally, put drama around it, and get paid per click. So this is what's really happening in the sky. We have false rulers, people whose heart is not as light as a feather. These people will leave the visible, especially these false idols. You will know them. They get whatever they want in the material world because their previous lives were beautiful. But when they fly too close to the sun, it's all over. So I hope they're using astrologers who are telling you, but we're going to show you that some of them obviously felt the tsunami coming, and I won't show you the list of names, but I'll show you who they worked for. So we won't spend any time talking about historians who put this brother as an idol. Why? Because no one rules another, only oneself. The rest is up to you. It's a story of what's happening in the heavens, as we just showed you. So all this stuff I'm not going to read. It's not true. These are stories of what's happening in the skies that affects us all, and then we idolize it as one event. It's not. It's not one event. So March 23rd, 44 BC, you could see that the sun was crossing at latitude 0. It's shifting, it's splitting the sky. It's all the story is about. Whether there was a literal Julius or not, I took the time of birth that they said and the time of death. Okay? So Ides is a sacred Roman calendar marker tied to lunar cycle splitting the heavens. That's what we know for sure. So again, a ruler is one who measures the stars, not things or people. They don't ruler them. At that exact moment, Mary was tied to the black moon in Ceres, that which leaves the visible. So that means if somebody was born at this time frame, they were definitely going to feel this energy. 100%. 100%. So this is where these stories come from when there's actual events that are happening. If there was a guy named Julius Caesar and was it this exact birthday and that's exactly when he died, well, absolutely, that aligns. It aligns. But the reason why he's leaving is because he's not doing his good work. Because you can't be a ruler over people and cause everybody and be okay with everybody in a karmic loop. That doesn't work. You lose your wings. You got to have your heart on your sleeve. So look, cycles are evident, and as soon as you enter locations in Egypt, yes, we were bigger, but always in the divine proportion, aka ratio of the firmament, self-similar. Try to use that term more because Mother Nature is showing us all the time. It will bring in law of attraction to divine energies. When you connect to this foundational wisdom, you are basically jumping on the love boat of perfection we call God. All right? So these big monuments are there telling you how big we were. The cubit, right, which we know is a measurement of 1 to 1.618. This is the beautiful self-similar. So these weren't giants. We're just bigger then than we are now. People are now saying, well, maybe that all these trees that were buried underground, that's where the oil comes from, because there's no such thing as dinosaurs, and that's not where we get oil from. That's a bunch of malarkey. No, we have sap from trees underground, from ancient trees that were so big, that's what we call mountains today. So you can see how big this guy is here, and look how big these statues are. They're giving you a sign of when this temple was built, how long ago. This is how we measure time. We don't need to carbon date. We always leave this behind. It's a beautiful thing. And there's that self-similar, right? Self-similar. We're always self-similar all the time. It's beautiful. We're infinite. Get over it. Okay, so who witnesses this March 19th new moon right before? So let's see where the energies are really high. So this is going to be in Syed Rajpara, Gujarat, India. That's who gets to see the new moon rising in the east in Pisces, the beginning of Pisces, by the way. So this is beautiful, folks. And of course, Mercury is there, sitting there by the North Node. So if you want to see, then obviously at the exact same time, somebody's going to be witnessing it overhead. So at noon, this one's at noon, this one's at midnight, and this one's setting in the west. So I'm just showing these locations. So in case we see any beautiful signs there, we're just doing the weather forecast for different locations. So yeah, March 19th. If you're anybody living in India near Syed Rajpara at 6:53 a.m., you will witness the new moon rising for this Ides of March. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, and could this be the before the dog sign? Did you guys hear about the flooding in near Maui, Hawaii? The Kona storm event? Wow, eh? So is this a before the dog sign? We'll show you what the before the dog means in a second. For those that don't know, a powerful Kona low storm system moved across Hawaii Islands on March 14th, 2026, bringing intense tropical moisture and prolonged rainfall to Maui. As the system stalled over the islands, go figure that. Heavy rains fell across the slopes of Helekela, sending large volumes of runoff toward the low-lying coastal town of Kihei. The sudden influx of water overwhelmed drainage channels and dried gulches, turning streets into fast-moving rivers and flooding parts of South Maui. Reports describe severe road damage, mud and debris flows, and sections of South Kahai Road collapsing as water eroded the ground beneath the roadway. Emergency crews responded throughout the day as rainfall rates reached several inches per hour. Several inches per hour during the peak of the storm. So they were getting 1.5 to 3 inches per hour, causing multiple road closures, landslides, and sinkholes. So if we take a look at the exact peak time, Regulus was rising, which is the heart, Leo. Fomalhaut, Aquarius. Waters, the cleansing waters, Aquarius. Aquarius, river of etheric waters. Fomalhaut was setting. So you can't deny all this stuff. Again, Mercury and Mars there on the black hole, the North Node, right? Juno on Canopus, right? There's the oarsman, rowing the waters. But here's the biggest thing. Procyon is the star that the Egyptian used before the Sirius would rise and cause the River Nile to flood. So is this because this is the exact location and Procyon was rising there. So is this a before the dog? We're going to get more water? Don't know. Could be. Okay, last slide is about the wings of our brothers and sisters. Here is a classic before the dog warning that Jubilee is upon us. If you know about these people, tell them about the 5-step forgiveness process to clear their waters, which is also our waters because we're all one. There is a very long list of CEOs that resigned on February 2020. Millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. Did they smell the idolatry out of control? Yep, you bet. I had AI verify all these CEOs of these corporations, and it is fact, 100%. They all left at that time. So we posted this on March 14th, 2020. And as you can see, this is where the weighing of the heart ceremony and the stars and mirrored on the Egyptian walls started. Where is your heart at? Asking everyone for forgiveness. Please forgive me for not being the loving man I should have always been. So again, January 12th, 2020, the weighing of the heart that's on the Egyptian walls is in the sky. Again, March 14th, 2020, that event, all these things that are happening, this told us it's coming. The weighing of the heart. Is your heart as light as a feather? It's showing it to us. So all these CEOs stepped down within a month. Disney, Bayer, MasterCard, Victoria's Secret, not sure, Salesforce, Hulu, Uber Eats, IBM, MGM, LinkedIn. They're all going, why? Oh boy, because they're afraid the whole market's going to crash. They got to get their money. They're running, whatever it is that they're just feeling the whole thing. Yeah. The only true virus is love. When are you going to say the event happened because of love instead of COVID? When we were introduced by love in the Phoenix Rising cycle of 558 years, April 15th, 2023 is the date of Revelation 12:1. Do us all a favor. Get people to wonder why you're saying when Mary returned, when love returned, when Isis, when Kali, when White Buffalo Calf Woman returned. We got to start saying this because the prophet mongers want us to keep another idol out there, a mystery. Ooh, why did this happen? It happens because it's written in the stars to happen. So this is the weighing of the heart ceremony we are upon. It's every now moment, not when you pass over. These are all representations of the essences you carry. Every one of these in this weighing of the heart is you. These are all you. These are all your own character essences that are part of you and part of the weighing of the heart ceremony. And that's all we have for today.